Alright, welcome back to SouFLoTV again, everybody. It's your host with the most. And we're going to do a full breakdown of timeline of what's been going on with the whole Andreen McDonald situation and where they're at now and other details you might not have known. Alright, so the search for Andreen McDonald continues. Family and friends are already mourning the missing San Antonio woman. They call her a San Antonio woman because she's based in San Antonio, Texas, where her business is booming, but she is really from Jamaica. Now, let's go into this. People are saying that to those who know her, that Andreen, who's been missing and now presumed dead by law enforcement, she was a go-getter. She was a fitness enthusiast who started her own assisted living business at just 22 years old and doted on her young daughter, meaning she loved her young daughter a lot. Her signature was a broad, dazzling smile, splashed across her Facebook page and captured in magazines and newspaper profiles. McDonald, who was 29 years old, was reported missing by friends on a Friday when she didn't go to work or to the gym, as is her normal routine, and they found blood and hair on a light switch at her home. Her husband, Andreen McDonald, 40 years old, was arrested Sunday on a charge of tampering with evidence. Sheriff Javier Salazar said that McDonald, who is a major in the Air Force Reserve, stationed at Joint Base San Antonio, Lackland, is a suspect in his wife's disappearance, but that he hasn't been charged with that. He remains in jail right now as we speak on a $2 million bond. For them to set his bond at $2 million, in order for him to get out, I think he would have to pay about $200,000 in cash. In other words, they set your bond that high when there's a strong probability that you are guilty of what you have been suspected of, and they do not want you going anywhere. According to court documents, Andreen McDonald told a close friend that if she ever disappeared, that it would be because her husband had killed her. And I spoke about this before. Now, if a woman is able to tell her friend that if I disappear, it's because my husband had killed me, then that woman needed to have left that relationship a long time ago. If you're with somebody that you think is capable of killing you, don't wait around for it to happen. Leave. Okay? Inside the couple's upscale two-story home in the Timberland Park area, sparkling birthday decorations were still hanging in the living room Monday, evidently in celebration of Andre's 40th birthday that had happened a few weeks ago. Hyacinth Smith, that's Andreen's mother. She hurried her 7-year-old granddaughter into her coat after a sheriff deputy arrived to interview the child. Listen to this. With blue beads decorating multiple braids on her head, the child played with a computer tablet that was showing cartoons, and she was just jumping around and laughing, apparently oblivious to her mother's absence. She doesn't really know what is happening, said Smith, who is caring for the little girl. Smith described Andreen as a fun-loving person. She was ambitious. She knew what she wanted. Everybody loved her. Later in the day, Andreen's sister, Cindy Ann Johnson, fought back tears as she scrolled through photos of her sister on her cell phone at Johnson's home in shirts. It hurts. It really hurts, she said. I wouldn't dream that I would be losing my only sister. Johnson recounted how the McDonald's daughter gave a chilling account to Andreen's business manager, whom the child knows very well, on that Friday afternoon. The little girl said, Daddy hurt Mommy, and Mommy, she was going like this. mimicking, choking, and difficulty breathing. I'm assuming this child saw mom being strangled or mom hurt, probably neck broke and difficulty breathing. The business manager recorded the conversation with the child and gave the recordings to the investigator. Johnson said, "To us, it's pretty evident that she saw something," Salazar said Monday in reference to the child. "She saw what happened to her mom, and that's the most heartbreaking part of this whole case." Well, to me, the most heartbreaking part of this whole case is that this woman might be dead and that child might be motherless or parentless because the dad's going to prison and the mom's going to a grave. That's the most heartbreaking part of this case. The child seeing it, definitely heartbreaking as well. That's just a double whammy. Maria Pena, a registered nurse with Transitions Hospice, said that Andreen made a point of visiting patients who were receiving care from hospice that contracted with Starlight Assisted Living, which Andreen launched in 2012, just 1 month after she received a bachelor's degree in finance at the University of Texas at San Antonio. She now has 2 facilities in San Antonio. One is a 12-bed home in Northern Hills, and the other is a 16-bed facility in Alamo Heights. This girl was driven. People twice her age, 3 times her age, or have lived a long life, have not accomplished as much as she had accomplished. I don't know if you know what it means to start this type of a business. First of all, it's in the medical field, so it's very difficult to get in. Start this type of business at straight out of like a month after you receive your degree. Wow. And then to be so successful that you end up with 2 facilities. She made herself known to everyone, they said. All the hospice patients, and she was very loving, Pena said. For those of you who don't know what hospice patients are, those are patients that are about to die pretty much. They're on their last leg of life, and they're saying that Andreen would make it her priority to visit her 2 facilities and go visit especially the hospice patients. Andreen was known for her competitive streak. "I like to win. I see everything as a competition," she said in a profile of her business that was published last year in San Antonio Woman magazine. "Not being able to overcome a challenge would be like losing, and that to me is not acceptable." So she was a A-type personality, go-getter kind of female, driven. Andreen's determination was evident in her fitness routine. She worked out frequently at the 100-member Iron Tribe Fitness, coming in at 5 a.m. every morning, said Abby Jones, who is a coach there. She placed first in several weightlifting and fitness competitions, pushing herself to obtain a 13% body fat. Wow, that's almost no fat on her body. She was just a very, very hard-working person. She's a top dog. We use her as an example out of the floor often. Jones last saw her Thursday morning. Andreen had stayed behind to do a second workout, Jones said. Gym members held a prior vigil, and placed an orange cone in the spot where she usually parked. They also built her barbell just like she would when she was ready to attack the weights in her favorite move, the clean and jerk, and put it out on the floor in her honor. Jones described Andreen as a great mom and wife, who would occasionally bring her daughter to events at the Iron Tribe. "It truly, truly is a large loss for us," Jones said. "We are a family here." When concerned friends went to her home after she didn't show up at the gym or work Friday, they said that no one answered, so they went in through the back door. That's crazy. Is it normal for her to leave the back door open, or were they looking through windows and doors and tried the back door and it was open? They found blood and hair on a light switch in the master bedroom, saw a fire on the ground outside, and spotted a zipper in the fire. According to court documents, they then called authorities. So I was under the impression that the authorities found the fire pit first. So I don't know. I was discussing this with my wifey, and Brains was saying that he probably burnt her already. And now that I'm reading this part, I'm beginning to think that he probably did already burn her, and it went unnoticed. Investigators said that Andre McDonald, which is her husband, initially told officers that his wife was being treated at the Baptist Emergency Hospital on US 281, but when authorities contacted the hospital, they were told that she was not there. They had nobody there by that name, according to court records. McDonald then said that he didn't know where she was, and he noted that the two had been in an argument the night prior. He declined to comment any further to them and asked to get an attorney. Later, serving the first of two search warrants, investigators found the blood on the light switch was human blood, and also found a small amount of what could be blood evidence in a Chevrolet Malibu at the house. A second warrant was served Saturday, and investigators discovered two torn-up receipts indicating that Andre had bought a shovel, an axe, a hatchet, large heavy-duty plastic bags, gloves, and two 5-gallon gas cans on Saturday, the day after Andreen went missing. Wow, I am guessing that he dismembered her and burnt her pieces, then took bones and stuff and threw those somewhere. I don't know. Investigators found many of those items in the back of McDonald's porch, and they are also discovered heavy coveralls in a trash can. Records show and found another fire pit that was not present during the previous search. Wow. Investigators determined that it had been used to destroy papers and other items. Andre McDonald was charged with tampering with evidence and arrested Sunday. Despite Monday's intense cold, some 40 Bexar County Sheriff deputies and volunteers fanned out across a mobile substation set up the shop on Overlook 26108 Overlook Parkway looking for Andreen. With Andre McDonald declining to cooperate with his wife's whereabouts, investigators were forced to make general searches of its secluded areas near the family's home in the Summit at Canyon Spring, a gated subdivision off Canyon Gulf Road. We're doing some GPS checks right now on telephones and cars, Salazar said. We're hoping that will help us narrow down our search area, but for right now we're just looking in all general area, which can make this very difficult. Examining GPS information on the couple's cars requires taking those cars to the dealerships where the vehicles are then taken apart so the information can be extracted. The process can take some time. The search moved into nearby ravines, drainage, ditches, creek beds, and brushy areas on foot and in trucks and all-terrain vehicles. Split into smaller search parties, each group also targeted wooded areas near subdivisions off Borgfield Road, about 4 to 5 miles away from the McDonald's home. Salazar used his personal four-wheel truck to access some of the rough terrain, but the search yielded no signs of Andreen. Among the volunteers Monday was Haley Weaver, who knows Andreen from Iron Tribe Fitness. Weaver said that she never heard Andreen had any marital problems. Like other volunteers, Weaver sought to bring closure to Andreen's family. And she said, "She's amazing, she's strong," while her voice was breaking as the woman started to cry. Weaver said that she last saw Andreen on Wednesday, and she was normal. Just another day at the gym, working out, pushing hard, sweating, just doing what she does every day. "It's not easy," acknowledged another woman. "We're just trying to see what we can do." Another woman said, "I'm just a mom and a human. I feel bad for the baby girl and everyone involved. It's very, very sad." The search resumed Tuesday at 9 a.m. Volunteers were asked to show up at the mall for a briefing at 9 a.m. and Salazar said that likely the search will continue through at least the rest of the week. Well, we are at the end of this week. Andreen and her husband are from the same town in Jamaica, Port Antonio. Check this out. They married and were living in Florida before her husband's career brought them to San Antonio. He's in the military, but he is a reserve. He is not an active duty soldier. Records indicate that she is his second wife. He divorced the first one in 2005 in Florida. I bet that woman is thinking, I dodged a bullet. I'm glad I left crazy. That could have been me. Andre McDonald has a master's degree in engineering and backed Andreen's business. Listen, a master's degree in engineering could have been very helpful in him getting rid of this body. Just think about that. According to her website, McDonald was moved to help out because of a grandmother who needed assisted living after an accident in Jamaica forced the amputation of one of her legs, and that is why she started her assisted living program. A cyber warfare operations officer. Look at his background. A cyber warfare operations officer. Andre McDonald oversees personnel developing and maintaining systems that allow Air Force cyber operations to defend the service's worldwide network. He had no record of deploying to any war zone. McDonald had been, so people are saying, well, could have been PTSD because these people see a lot in combat. There's no record of him ever deploying to any war zone. Okay, he does computer work. McDonald had been with the unit since October of 2014 and has been in the Air Force since November of 2004. He is on an active guard reserve tour that began April 29th of 2018, a 3-year stint that is set to be completed in March of 2021. McDonald has not had any disciplinary issues while with his reserve unit, but officials would not discuss details of the Andreen case because it remains under investigation. Their home in the Timberlake Park area they bought in 2017 was appraised by the county at $450,000. That's almost a $500,000 home. They also own a second home on the city's north side, along with 2 assisted living facilities. While the magazine Profile and several friends say that the couple loved their daughter and seemed to be a happy family, Andreen had been quoted in saying that the three always had dinner together, and records show that Andre McDonald filed for divorce in February of 2017. He then withdrew that petition 3 months later. So he was going to divorce her in 2017. And 3 months later, he withdrew those divorce papers. Salazar indicated that there had been problems. I don't know that we have any written record of a history of violence, but anecdotally, what we're hearing from friends and family was there was some sort of violence in the relationship. The sheriff said that the child who stands to lose is the one true victim. See, a lot of this information was not known before to us. Like, he had been married before, she is his second wife. He filed for divorce and left that wife and went away with Andreen. And also that he filed for divorce from Andreen already in 2017, citing that their marriage had problems, and he withdrew those. I guess they worked it out and decided to eventually stay. The sheriff said the baby is the real victim, and that is why personally I consider it an honor to be trekking through creek beds in cold weather, he said. We owe it to the memory of Mrs. McDonald, if in fact she is deceased, and to this little girl to bring some closure to this case. Alright, and this was printed in expressnews.net. Now, like I said before, here's a full follow-up as to where they're at. Last thing I heard was it was over 300 law enforcement officials and volunteers together fanning out areas far and wide because he just will not speak to them and they don't have a clue. They've even searched areas around the base where he was said to have been seen around the time that Andreen was missing, around the military base. And they found it suspicious. His commanders found it suspicious because he's a reserve. He's not a full active duty soldier, so they don't normally come to the base like that. And the base is quite a ways, couple of miles away from their home. And they were thinking, what in the world is he doing here? Right? Major shows up on base unannounced with no business, is how they put it. So we'll stay tuned to this story, see how it unfolds. Right? It's SouFLoTV, man. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Leave your comment in the comment section below. And remember, if you're with someone you think is capable of killing you, don't wait. Leave. I'm out. Peace.